Football. It was known as a game for the fans. It was built by fans, played by fans, and then one of the most well-known sports around the world. But in recent times, that has changed, and the people at the top intentions have been asked by fans. So, I asked George Peasnell, who is a football content creator, about his views on the ESL and the World Cup.
I'll just get started with the European Super League.
As a football fan, how did it make you feel?
It wasn't very well thought through or planned or anything. I think it was very random. It came sort of out of nowhere. There was no sort of forewarning to it. And I think once fans realised what it was, there was a very, very quick disliking to it, which obviously was showed in all like the protests now that happened outside Stamford Bridge. And obviously that led to a lot of it, sort of Chelsea pulling themselves out of it. The amount of fan protest there was actually at the stadium, and obviously a lot of the other English teams sort of followed on afterwards. In terms of like the whole like consideration of fan thing, there was no consideration. This was just like whatever money we can make, let's make it. A lot of them are so out of touch.
All of the ECL, as a fan, do you have a different perspective on your football club and football?
I think because of how quickly Chelsea seemed to act upon it, which obviously was massively sort of sped up by the protests from fans. I think because of how quickly Chelsea acted and cut themselves out of it, it almost didn't bother me too much. But then I think when you actually think back and think about it realistically, there was no care. There was nothing. It was right. We're gonna make some money, and we don't really care whether you like it or not.
When it happened, it looked like it was going to happen, like 100%.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was it.
When they first proposed it, and like the day or so before like the protest, when they first like proposed it, I was like, shit, this is actually going to happen.
The World Cup, it was 2012, it got announced with Russia and Qatar at the same time. As an England fan, or just as a football fan, from that bid at the time, which was 10 years ago, what do you remember of it and what do you think of it?
It was very obviously a shambles, and it felt very rigged and fixed. Or with Qatar, having to change the whole system of we can't even play it in the summer, we've got to play it in the winter. Like it's the same issue, and whether the fans can get there or not, it's irrelevant. It's whoever pays the most money.
Both countries got not similar laws but similar views. I think they have very homophobic rules in their country.
I've seen an interview, I'm sure it was on Sky, or it was an interview with like one of the like very top people in the event, and they're asking him about obviously his country's views on like the LGBTQ community and their rules around it. And he is very upfront. He's like, we have no interest in changing them. They're not welcome. Don't come to the country. And I find that is now, that's a live TV interview. You cannot ever go back again. And we're sending footballers out there. There's probably a lot of footballers who'll go to that World Cup that are gay, that have never come out.
One of the main things it was for England fans, or just fans in general, was like their strict rules on alcohol. Apparently you can only get it in hotels, you can't really get it.
Obviously it's not everything. Going to such a football game for me and not being able to have a beer, that don't seem right.
People that are building the stadiums, getting imported from Africa, and they're on literally next to minimum wage. Not even minimum wage, it's below par.
The amount of like confirmed deaths they've had on that from the stadiums, I find that baffling. Especially in a country where like these stadiums are going to have no use. Qatar is not a big football country.
days when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. I put my trousers